Hello, Adele Bates, Behaviour and Education Specialist and teacher over here. So today I wanted to bust a myth that I've seen coming up on my Twitter feed, which is around Finnish education. So in that continual debate that we love to have and the polarisation between the progressive and the traditional approaches to teaching, I've seen a reference to Finland being progressive and this idea that they did really well with that progressive approach during the PISAs a few years ago, as we famously know, but actually they're stuck there and that's not going to move forward and it will become outdated and, they're going to lose it, essentially. So, as some of you may know, I spent a month as part of a research education project in January over in Finland. I visited 4 schools, I taught over there, I spoke with lots of pupils and staff, as well as attended and led training, and I managed to speak as well with city-wide educationalists, practitioners, consultants and people who are involved in developing the Finnish national curriculum over there, which has just been redone. It was redone in 2016 and is just coming out into schools now. If you want to know more about that, I've written lots of blogs and vlogs over there on my website on adelebateseducation.co.uk. So the myth I want to bust is this idea that Finland is this progressive, has this progressive approach to teaching, because of all the lessons I saw over there, what really surprised me actually was just how similar they are to ours over in Britain. So I saw some fantastic chalk and talk teaching. Finland have really great textbooks. I really felt they do that better than us. So the textbooks are made by teachers. So if you want to create a textbook for your subject area, you apply, I think it's to government or Department of Education, I'm not entirely sure, but you apply to take a sabbatical for a year and write a textbook for your subject. So you've got head of department teachers writing the textbooks that are going to be used in their classroom. And there were some fantastic resources there, and they are used often in Finnish classrooms. And I saw some great lessons done in that way. Unsurprisingly, I also saw some rubbish lessons done in that way, where students were not engaged, they were not stretched, it was not differentiated, kind of what I see in Britain, a variety. And flip it over, on the other side, I saw some fantastic project-based learning. The one that really stood out to me was a few weeks long project over sexual health, and the facilitators of that, it was a co-teaching class. They set up the project to be an investigative group learning process with sex ed, and it actually produced some real quality written work, as well as the group work, the communication skills, the investigative skills, the research skills, all the rest. But it produced really high quality work. If you want to know more about that, I think it's in my vlog on assessment from Finland. In the Finnish, if you go to the Finnish blogs, the assessment bit on one of the vlogs. But again, I also saw some really rubbish group teaching that didn't really work, and you had the same, situation people are always scared of with group teaching. The leaders leading pupils doing all the work, and the coasters, that kind of thing. I.e., it was exactly the same as any British school. So that is the myth I wanted to bust. Now, what they do have differently over there, though, to us, is something that maybe isn't very traditional from a British history point of view, but actually probably is quite traditional from a Finnish history point of view, which is the amount of support that is around teaching. So by law, there are 22 in a class, no more. By law, for every 200 students, there is one SEN Masters Qualified teacher. So that meant that when I visited a school of 1,000, there were 14 SEN qualified teachers. And so if you've got those specialists working in that way, it makes it easier for the subject teachers. I've got a child climbing a tree next to me now. I can't show you, but she's talking to herself. So It's that side that I feel is the non-traditional approach in teaching. It's not the pedagogy, it's the managerial structure of schools, the amount of support. There's a school psychologist, there's a school counsellor, there's a school social worker, all by law in Finland. Those are, for me, the non-traditional aspects of Finnish teaching. And with the pupils I work with who have specific behavioural needs and challenges, it's that bit that really excites me, that really, that level of support for students with specific needs that need it, so that the teachers can get on and teach. If you want to know more, do get in touch, or on Twitter or over on my website, adelbateseducation.co.uk, and I hope that has been an enlightening myth buster. Cheers.